Log into gyroscopeme.com, the hottest online radio station in the world. GS Radio all day, all night, worldwide. Powered by Gyroscope Media Group, LLC.
GS Radio, the best internet radio station worldwide. Providing the best in music and talk shows. Go to www.gsradionj.com and check out the best internet station in the world. You're listening to GS Radio, internet radio station powered by GMG, LLC.
Last week, we had Tommy Davis, and go back and check that out. A lot of stuff. Then, of course, we're going to play the hottest song of the week according to Track Source in the Soulful House category. Then after that, we're going to talk about a few things that are coming up. We're going to play a classic. Well, we're going to play a track that I think, Jeff will probably recognize this track. And then after that, we're going hard with Jeff. So, ladies and gentlemen, as usual, we want to play a few little, a little tidbit, a little snippet of the number one song according to Track Source, because you know Facebook is a nasty little habit of shutting us down and muting us out. This is by Ezel and Rona Ray. It's called History Repeating. So, Chuck, can you play just a hint of that, and we're going to shut that down. Hey, just so you know, just want to thank King T Finesse and Ariel Shante for our theme song. Also, we're on Facebook now, we're on YouTube, we're on Vimeo, we're on Roku, we're on Twitch, we're on Twitter, and on the website, streaming live now. So, hey, listen, just want to take a few minutes just to say some things that are happening up and coming. Some up and coming events, April 21st and 22nd. It's going to be the New Jersey House Music Conference Weekender. This is going to be the first time ever this has been done. We've talked about it. We've dreamed about it. We've even said we're going to do it, but Wu Johnson is pulling this off. This is going to be a big weekend. It's going to be at the Holiday Inn in Newark on Frontage Road. So it's going to be a big deal. Get your tickets now. If there's any left, reach out to Wu Johnson. Then May 13th, SMB is going to do the annual Pink and White Affair. That's going to be honoring the late, great Alice Burwell, who was the First Lady of SMB Entertainment Group. That's going to be at Mr. East. It's going to be on the 13th. It's going to be a very big event. and everybody needs to wear pink and white in honor of Alice. May 20th, the House of Salima and Tyrone Chablis are going to be the featured fashion people. I'm going to say fashionista. That sounds about right. It's going to be given by Hope Michelle Royster. As you know, Hope is all top shelf, and her event's going to be top shelf. It's going to be at the Doubletree in Newark on Frontage Road also. So a lot of stuff happening. Hey, listen, we got some new tracks that you should be up on. Okay, you have Geoffrey CEE, our special guest today. He's going to have with a track by Leonidas K. It's called Kupiga. I'm going with that. All right. Another hot track. He does the remix on it. And listen, you already know. We're going to talk about that. Next, we have a new track from Aaron K. Gray. Timmy Regisford is on this, on the track. It's called God Favored Me. And then we have another track, a new track by Ricky Nelson. Ricky Nelson's on the track. Cynthia Tucker's on the vocals. It's called Everlasting Love. So as you know, we go into the Shazam Free Zone. Right after this, we play nothing but brand new music. We never repeat. It's all brand new. Hey, Cha, can you play a little bit of this song that we have number 2 on that list? And yeah, Jeff, you'll probably recognize this track. Okay. As usual, we're going to play a little snippet of it, and then we're going to back down here. So, Cha, we're ready. I don't know. Maybe Jeff heard this song. I'm not sure.
What's this song?
I don't know. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Geoffrey CEE on the track and DJ Dan on the vocals. It's called Adrenaline Rush, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Hey, listen to this. Geoffrey CEE is live, and I'm asking everybody to share, to hold on, to share. We've got a great interview. And for those of you who don't know, Geoffrey CEE is one of the most prolific producers, remixers, DJs out there. As a matter of fact, if you look on Track Source, you will see that he has hit the #1 spot on more than one occasion. Some people live for just to live to get in the top 10, but this man has been on the top of the charts. So I'm just super happy, super proud, super excited to have this man here. This man is a legend in my own mind, just for starters. And we're gonna have a little conversation with him. Let me get a couple shout outs. Momo, how you doing? Keisha, I see you in the house. All right. Okay, so let's get started with the easy stuff like we always do. You know,
all right.
For those who haven't had a chance or been on another planet, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, if you're in another planet, no, I'm a DJ, producer, remixer who just appreciates music, both playing and making music. And I've been doing that for a number of years, and I'm showing no signs of stopping. Just too passionate for it, just it's in my blood now.
Now, where are you from originally?
Originally from New York, Bronx, New York,
Boogie down.
and moved to Maryland. Boogie down. Yep, moved to Maryland, and in '74, and been in Maryland ever since. So I guess I can safely say I'm a Marylander now.
Okay.
I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Now, hey, listen, folks. Again, just in case you just got on, we're on multiple platforms. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, Roku, Twitch, Twitter, and the website as we speak. So we're showing up in multiple places. Now, how did you get started with music?
You know, I came from a musical family who, first of all, sang. I mean, my mother and father sang in choirs. My grandparents and aunts and uncles all sang in the church choir. And you know, in addition to that, we just enjoyed, and listened to a variety of music growing up. I mean, we used to listen to anything from jazz to classical to R&B. We called it soul music then. To classic rock, and the whole gamut. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for that, for listening and introducing me to a variety of music. But that's where it started. Started right there in the home.
All right. See,
Yeah.
my background was a little bit different. My parents weren't really, my parent, put it this way, like, you have cool parents that would know up-to-date music. My parents, they would know about Michael Jackson only because he was in the news. So my parents really weren't, like, cool like that. There were no signs of singing talent in my family. And I don't know if it's fortunately or unfortunately, they passed that on to me. So anyway.
I don't know. You came out with a record. You have some kind of talent somewhere.
Yeah, we gotta find it though, right?
Oh, that's funny.
Now, how about some of your early music influence? I know you mentioned your parents, but were there any artists or any DJs or anything like that kind of were influences on you?
You know, my influences are mostly in the R&B and jazz areas. I mean, Earth, Wind, and Fire, which is that's my all-time favorite group.
Okay.
And I2Ks, Temptations, talking in the R&B realm. In the jazz realm, Herbie Hancock, Thelonious Monk, John Coltrane, and the list goes on. Current artists, Kerry Chandler is definitely one of my favorite producers. Probably one of my all-time favorite. And anything on Quantized, Nervous, and Vega Records. I mean, that just gets me going.
Gotcha. Fantastic. Now, how about this? I guess you kind of mentioned some things. How about this? How did you get into house music? I mean, because there was all this other stuff going around. You could have gone into a rock thing. You could have gone into a straight-up jazz thing. You could have gone into a straight-up... How did you get into house music?
Well, you know, from the R&B I listened to in the 70s through the 80s, we had a variety of tempos of R&B, down-tempo, mid, and up-tempo. And all of that was, to me, again, as a child, soul music. And then the up-tempo stuff, they started calling that disco. And that went on to go to club music. We called house music club music in the 80s at the time, because we haven't coined the term house yet, at least in our area, at least in New York, New Jersey, Philly, and so forth and so on.
Right.
So I really started getting into it as a genre after going to Odell's in Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
And that was, wow, Odell's on North Avenue in Baltimore, early 80s, 83, 84, 85. And the first DJ I saw was the legendary Wayne Davis.
Oh,
He is still with us, and he still plays and rocks the crowd to this day. And behind Wayne, after that, was Tony Fashaw. That's my boy. That's my buddy.
Okay.
And he played a lot in Odell's. So those were my early club music influences before we called it house.
Well,
And the rest is history.
okay. Well, I mean, for those who don't know, I personally never went to Odell's, but I heard that was sort of like the garage of your area. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Odell's was the Paradise Garage in our area, in Baltimore, for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Now,
A lot of memories.
wow. Now you've been around since the door, and and also you're not only listening, but you're active in the making of the music. Where is house music headed?
House music in the 90s had a lot more energy, a lot of energy in vocals and so forth. And I see it still staying around. It's not going anywhere. And but I'm seeing house music just kind of being a little more laid back as we get older and we start maturing. Our music kind of reflects where we're going as people, as a group of house music lovers. And I see this just more subtle. We don't have to be so even though I like to bang it out when I DJ, but for the most part, I see a subtle, a nice chill out, more laid back trend going on in house music. And it's good. As long as we have some of that banging stuff in there,
Okay.
I'm okay. I have a variety of bangers and a variety of just songs laid back.
Yeah. Well, are you suggesting that I guess people get to the point where their heart can't take it anymore?
Maybe.
Slow down. I got you.
Like, slow down.
And a one.
I try to remind myself that when I play out and it just doesn't happen, I'm like, I'm up here, you know. Hey, ask Momo. She's seen me.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, Momo's out here now. So listen, asking everybody to share. We have Jeffrey on now. Again, we're just doing some of the basics now. We always like to ask some of the little, like, the basics and stuff just to get to know you. And then we're going to go a lot deeper here. So how about this? What made you decide to produce as well as DJ?
You know, I've always been fascinated with manipulating songs, making extended versions or alternative versions of current music, or the music that was current then. And I always had fun doing it and experimenting with different sounds. And I've always had these ideas in my head, even as a kid listening to music. I always had alternative mixes in my head, or alternative ways of singing it or interpreting it. And it wasn't really until the late 70s, early 80s that I actually started implementing some of that, or putting some of those changes on tape, cassette tape. Remember that? Remember those?
Tape, yeah.
So, yep.
But
so
research for
that's
me.
when it started.
Yeah.
That's it. And the funny thing about it is, I actually started producing, well, I should say, doing pause button mixes on a cassette and manipulating songs first, before DJing. And when DJing came about, that was just another way, or a really fascinating way, of taking those songs and manipulating them in real time, on the spot. So that it all comes together.
Right. Want to give a few shout outs. Momo's in the house. Excuse me. Keisha, what up, Keisha? Shonda T, CJ is in the house. How you doing, Shonda T? By the way, Shonda T is going to be up next. She's going to be at the New Jersey House Music Conference Weekender, and I know she was down in Bmore a little while back, so it's all good. So she's killing it out there. She is killing it out there.
She kills it everywhere she goes.
That's right.
I'm a witness. Kills it everywhere she goes.
That's right. That's what she does.
Yes, indeed.
So name some of the tracks that you've done so people know what they've been sweating to and who's been putting that energy out there, putting that heat on the floor.
The released stuff or the unreleased stuff? We'll go with the released stuff.
Yeah, some of the released stuff. Yeah.
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 Yo Barnum.
Yes. Yes.
That was a pretty big record. That was probably my first big record on Quantize. And especially, it got even bigger when Jihad Muhammad put his twist on it. And that's when it just took it to a whole nother level. So thank you, Jihad, for that. And it's worth mentioning that Jihad Muhammad is the sole person and the first one to remix any of my music. And this is because I've always remixed everybody else's music, but nobody's ever remixed my music. So Jihad Muhammad has that crown.
Okay.
The first remixer. Bang.
Yes.
On Poji Records. Yep, there's two Bangs. This Bang on Poji Records was actually my first #1 record ever. I mean, I've been in this business for quite some time. I never had a #1 anything.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't care. I just love what I do. But it just happened to be a #1 record in the Afro chart on TrackSource. And that was good. That was like, wow, jaw dropping. Like, what? And then Bang with DJ Ike Lee, Sync Mafia, Tommy and Ike. I did a remix with them, and that hit it pretty big, and got a lot of support. So I thank all of you who have supported it. And my biggest record, and I think this is probably my breakthrough record, was dropped in March of last year, called "This Is Hot, Yes Indeedy."
Oh yes.
That thing went beyond TrackSource and just took off on its own, and I am ever so thankful and so grateful for that. And I guess that's God's way of saying, Jeffrey, it's your time now.
Okay.
It's your time. And so I humbly thank God, and I humbly accept that blessing. If it's my turn, if it's my time to shine, then I will humbly accept it, and I will do good by it. But yeah, This Is Hot, Yes Indeedy. And then most recently, my second #1 record, This Will Do. That came out on the Unquantized label. That was January. We hit #1 January, January or February. I have to look. I don't have it in my memory, but yeah, that went pretty well, and it's still being played. So thank you all for that. And of course, Adrenaline Rush.
I want you to hold on 1 minute.
is.
We're gonna tell the story about that. You tell the story. I want to ask you something else. Hey, when you put out these tracks, do you know when you put these tracks out that, boy, this is going to do something, or you're always saying, well, let's see what it's going to do? What's your mindset?
You know, it's a mixture of things. When I did This Is Hot, I knew it was going to do pretty well. I didn't know it was going to do as well as it did, but I knew that people were going to enjoy it. I'm so happy about that. This Will Do, I honestly, the most recent one, This Will Do, or one of the recent ones, I really didn't know how it was going to do. Like, okay, I don't know how it's going to do, but that's okay. I like making music, so it doesn't really matter. But when it did as well as it did, I said, okay, I can accept that. I can accept that. Okay. Yes, indeed.
Now, before I ask you this next question, I want to just give a big shout out to Carmen Brown, because Carmen Brown is the one that introduced us.
Yes,
so,
Carmen Brown. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I would say thank you. Thank you. And so name some of the artists that you've worked with, because you work with, I know, quite a few artists too over the years.
Yeah, I worked with a few. in the remix realm,
Mm-hmm.
now in the production realm, Carmen Brown.
Carmen Brown. Uh-huh.
That's it,
Mm-hmm.
Carmen Brown and Dana Weaver.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And done a few things with Sahib Muhammad, who's
Mm-hmm.
also on Quantai,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully work on some more songs with some more artists.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there are some things in the work, in the making.
Mm-hmm.
I will not say anything yet until
Okay.
it's like written down. But suffice it to say, this year is going to continue real nice.
Now,
Absolutely.
now, how about it's but you've also done. I know you did something and was celebrating the remix with Paula Beyond, and you did that too. And,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
You put the juice in that sucker, the electricity in
Um,
that sucker.
I'm going to do a remix. No, I'm going to remix the remix
Okay.
because I've had some ideas for a nice dub version, which I think will go over pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that Paula will be pleased.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Who knows where that dub mix can go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how
Well,
about?
I'm not going to call them dub mixes. We'll call them Yes Indeedy mixes now.
Okay.
Yes
all right.
Indeedy
Well,
mixes.
yes, indeed. Okay. How about
Absolutely.
How about this? How about any artists that you want to work with? Is anybody in your dream list or?
I've always been a lone producer,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought of that. There's a couple of artists that I probably wouldn't mind working with. Sheila Ford or Tracy Hamlin, two phenomenal artists.
Yes.
I would definitely love to work with them down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And of course Carmen Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, that's maybe you have something in the works.
Okay.
Send Carmen a track.
Okay.
We will see. We will see. I think that's going to be a good one.
Okay.
That's going to be a good one.
Well,
Carmen blessing the track with the talents.
Mm-hmm.
Game over.
Yes,
Game over.
yes. And she can actually sing, which is like
She can
really
sing.
Yeah, that's right. She can sing. How did I mess that
And
up?
write.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Now, how about places you played, and then is there any place you want to play?
Places I've played in a variety of places. I've had guest spots in my hip hop days, Funk Master Flex's show.
Oh, sure. I know Flex.
Yep,
Mhm.
yep, in New York, and also I've had guest spots on other radio stations, Power 96 in Miami, WEOW in Key West,
Mhm.
and I played house on those stations.
Mhm.
And mostly on the Key West station. It's funny about the Key West station. I was at the Winter Music Conference that one year. It was in the mid '90s, and had all these records. Remember vinyl? They used to remember vinyl.
Uh-huh.
All these people were handing out vinyl, going crazy. I had all this vinyl, and we happened to go to Key West that one day. We broke away from the conference for a little while. Went to Key West, and I brought this vinyl with me. Never heard it before.
Uh-huh.
And when they asked if I wanted to get on and play, I said, absolutely. Absolutely. What did I play? I played all the vinyl I got from the Winter Music Conference. And it was good because there was no program director climbing down my back saying, well, you got to play the hits. You got to play the hits. Yeah. Clubs, Tracks Nightclub in Washington, D.C., and also Chicago's and the Dome, both in Washington, D.C., and Club 347 in Baltimore. Played over in London, and want to go back.
Okay.
My bucket list, any place I want to play, could be anywhere overseas. I mean, I would love to play in Italy, go back to London, love to play in France, South Africa, etc., etc., etc. Anywhere overseas, I love to play.
Okay.
Any safe place overseas.
A safe place got you.
Any
Got
safe
you.
place.
I know. Some places are too hot and some other places are too cold. I got you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Now, let's start to get into this. Now, you started to mention this song, Adrenaline Rush. Tell us this. Tell us the backstory about Adrenaline Rush.
You know, on our last interview,
Uh-huh.
you had made sort of a joke saying, you know what, your music just gives me an adrenaline rush, and maybe I'm going to come out with a song. I have a song. What's that, Dan? Song called Adrenaline Rush. That was hilarious. I said, oh my goodness. Our last interview was some months ago when you came up with that. It started out as ha 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 hee hee ho,
Right.
And then we started talking about that that might not be a bad idea. So when we talked sometime after the interview, we said, that's not a bad idea. So everybody, I told Dan, okay, you want to do this, just go ahead, record your vocals, and send them to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take care of the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Record the vocals, send them to me, I'll take care of the rest.
Right.
So Dan records the vocals, and I get a couple of vocal snippets, and I'm hearing something that sounds like a Boy Scout, like adrenaline rush, adrenaline rush, adrenaline rush. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. Gotta put some bass in your voice. And I told you this, Dan. So we got to put some bass in your voice. Adrenaline rush. I'm bad. Yeah, I'm the man. I'm DJ Dan. I'm the man. Not DJ Dan, the Boy Scout. DJ Dan. I'm the man. Adrenaline rush. So, so we did some processing, and thank goodness for technology, able to get that done, and I came up with a beat on it. I just wanted to come up with a beat so we could both, you and I both, can beat everybody over the head when we play that record, like bang, bang. And that's how that came about. That's how Adrenaline Rush came about. And I'm so happy that we were able to pull this off. Mm-hmm. And so happy that it's been well received. Everybody likes it. It's funny. That daggone Tommy Davis, I'm going to call him out. He called me up. Hey, I hope you're listening, Tommy. He called me up. Hey, he said, Rush. Rush. They were teasing me about that, how I mess with the voice. And they were like, what is Dan saying? I said adrenaline. And Tommy said, sounds like
Yeah.
Tommy gives me a hard time.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because he said, Dan, next time you do a song, put more than 2 words on it. I didn't say, well, listen.
That sounds like Tommy.
Yeah. I
Okay.
I didn't say it to him, but they said the words over and I didn't go there. I didn't say anyway. But
Well, you could be smart. You could be get smart with him and say, okay, I'll do 3 words next time. More than 2. Malicious obedience.
Yeah, I got to tell you, what was interesting about it is, I've had conversations before with people about doing stuff, and it's like the one time when we were just joking, it came true.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you one other thing too regarding the voice. I remember the first time. You remember back in the day when they had the voicemail and you could hear your voice and things of that nature. And the first time I heard my voice back to me, I was like, "Oh Lord, I've been walking around like this my whole life." And
I get it.
oh
I
my
totally
goodness!
Get it.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh man, I get it. Yeah. I sound like this. I sound like that. And I'm talking to you sounding like a Boy Scout. I sound like a Boy Scout. I sound like a nasally boy. Hi, my name is Geoffrey
Wow, I know that
Oh,
was.
I tell you.
Yeah, but I gotta tell you, the track is straight energy. It's like if you wanna like pump the party, you put that track on. The energy's crazy. Plus, it's a great song to put vocals over, or to put something playing something in the background and have a beat going with it. It's really really strong, and there's multiple breaks and multiple parts to it that you can use for a backbeat. So I think it's very very powerful. And yeah, like you say, it's been getting some good reception on it.
Had a lot of fun on it. We had a lot of fun. I want to do a remix on it too.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
all right
already
now.
having some remix
All right
ideas on
now.
Adrenaline Rush.
Yeah. Say, Adrenaline Rush, Part 2.
Rush.
See, I had 4 words
Part
right
2.
there, right?
Yeah, right. That's 4 words. That's more than 2.
That's right.
More than 2.
I say, listen. I say, Tommy, I double my production here. My word.
I double my output, Tommy.
That's right.
We're good to go now.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. Oh my goodness.
Now, question. Do you produce any other types of music besides house music?
I started out, I wrote a song, or I co-wrote a song called Come In From the Rain, and that was a collaboration with my friends Game and Foreman and my good friend Audra Lomax, who actually had something out on the Basement Boys label called, I believe, Giving All My Love. I believe that's the name of the song. It's been a while ago. And also Audra was on tour with Chic, Now Rogers, and their band all over the world. So yeah, Audra definitely has some musical weight behind her. Really good, really talented, and all the other songs not been producing per se, but remixing various R&B songs and a hip hop song. I recorded I did a remix on a hip hop record.
Okay.
And it's funny about that. Funny how that hip hop remix came up. The record company was doing their promotions, and they had asked me, we were going through records, and they had asked me about this particular record, which was a priority for them at the time. And I didn't like the record. Boy, this thing is terrible. And they really wanted me to play it. And they used all the promotion tricks that they like to use. Well, it's playing in this market, it's playing in that market, and everybody's playing it but your market. Well, that's everybody else. That's not my market. The only way I'm going to play it in my market is it needs a remix.
Okay.
Well, they called my bluff. Next day, I got something in the mail. I said, "Oh man!" It was a little DAT tape, digital audio tape, about that big, with the vocals on it. I said, "Oh my gosh, now I gotta produce." Oh man!
Literally.
So I did it and sent it in, and they picked it up, and so that was my first official hip hop remix. On a rapper, I still. I'm not going to mention his name because he might be listening. Oh my goodness! But yeah, I've done other types of music in my earlier days, mostly remixes and edits.
Now, I want to give a big shout out to Mitch McCrae. Mitch, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. He said he didn't get a notice, so I don't know what happened there. Okay, so let's go into Baltimore, the Baltimore scene, and you know where I'm going with this. Talk about Baltimore and what's trending. Do you see anything that's trending in Baltimore? Maybe it's a little different flow or whatever than it is, say maybe up here or other parts of the country. Do you see any? What's trending or what's happening in Baltimore?
I think that the trend, one of the trends in Baltimore is everybody's giving parties at the same time. Gee whiz.
Okay.
Stop it.
Okay.
I've got half a dozen parties stretching it out at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So that just goes to show you that yeah, we there's definitely a house scene in Baltimore, and definitely people attend. What I'd like to see in Baltimore though are the younger people coming out. We need to pass the baton
Okay.
to a younger people and actually a more diverse audience. I would like to see that
Okay.
in Baltimore.
Okay. You know what? I hear that a lot, but how do you do it? What's your thoughts on that? How do you do that?
You know, first of all, we can probably do songs, remix songs that they're familiar with, and put it in a form that everybody can relate to. In other words, let's put our house twist on a song that younger people are familiar with. We did that with R&B. We have a lot of house converts from mixes on R&B songs. And so people who don't like house, they listen to something that they're familiar with a different twist that could reel them in. That that's how to do it. And also just be open-minded. I mean, if you see someone that's not part of a core house group, welcome them in with open arms. Embrace them, invite them in. Invite them in. We can learn from each other.
Yeah.
Or not. We can learn from each other.
I gotta say to you, I can remember when I was younger, which was not too long ago.
That's right. It was yesterday.
That's right. That's right. I was younger yesterday. And I remember going to parties where there were older people, and I didn't know how comfortable I made them feel, because I can remember going to some parties and they kind of showed us the door. And then,
Right. Right.
like, I mean, they showed us the door. And then, you know, I hear people say they want to bring younger people in. Do they mean from an entertainment standpoint, or are they okay seeing grandma twerking or whatever she's doing to the music? I mean,
Grandma's twerking. Go ahead, twerk. I'll hold the cane for
yeah.
you.
So
All right.
I'm just kind of saying, do we want them, you know? But then there's family days, you know, maybe where they can come out. But I do believe we're gonna have to make music that they're familiar with. Just like if you go into a party. I mean, look, if you go into an underground party, then it's accepted you're gonna play underground music. But if if you go into a regular party, what's gonna happen is I'm not saying you can't play any new stuff, but you're not there to educate them. You're there.
Right.
They're looking for songs that they know the words to, they can sing, they know their favorite dances and things of that nature. Are we really willing to listen to their input? Are we really willing to do that? Which is, I think, is a very, very important question. In addition to that, it seems like hip-hop is gonna be, in my mind, one of the biggest exceptions, is that every generation has their music. Like, for example, you may like a Motown song here or there, but you're not coming to a party, say, with a bunch of teenagers or, say, young 20s. Oh, they might listen to a Motown song here or there if they're at a special event, but you're not going to do the Temptations and Martha and the Vandellas and Smoke. You're not going to do that all night. That's not going to work. So now the only thing, the one genre that I can think of that really kind of flowed, even though you have different periods of time and different styles that people follow, is hip hop. Because, you know, hip hop started really, at least coming to the public back in the 70s. But hip hop is still one of the largest, if not one of the largest genres, but they kind of went with the times. Now, to show you that, you hear a lot of people who would into hip hop back in the day. Because when I do a lot of these interviews, I find most of the people have hip hop in their background. But
Yes. Yeah.
the golden era for them was typically in the 90s or something like that. They're not really feeling a lot of the mumble rap and some of the stuff that's going on today. So,
Right.
but still, hip hop is one of the genres that I've seen able to come from nothing, and as each decade went by, they were still active, still on the forefront, still making it happen. You know, whether you like Travis Scott and Migos and all these cats now, that's a personal choice. But
Mhm.
yeah. So anyway, I said all that to say, you know, but hip hop allowed younger people to come in and put their spin on it. Would we allow, you know, younger people like me, you know, and you, to come in and put our spin on what was quote unquote house, which I think is a question that we really have to answer if we're really serious about bringing younger people into it. So I don't know, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would say I would like to see that more, and I don't see that as much as I would like to. I would think in Washington D.C., where they have slightly more diversity in the parties, I can see it starting somewhere there if it's not happening already, you know. And there may be some clubs that I haven't heard of that where they are actually doing that, and we don't know because, well, there's really not a lot of cross advertising with some of the parties.
Good point.
You know, there's a club in D.C. that doesn't even advertise to the house community, but yet you find out after the fact that Louis Vegas played there. You find out after the fact that Kerry Chandler's been there. This is the club in D.C. And if I don't find out about it, if somebody didn't tell me about some of this, I wouldn't have been there to see Louis or Kerry play. But they simply don't advertise to the house community. Yeah, so there has to be some cross advertising for that to work.
Good point.
And a good
point.
marketing plan, you know.
Okay. Now, let's get to this. I'm gonna call it a duel, or since there were three of you, the truel. If that's a word, I'm making that word up. But you know, recently there was a versus in the house community. Tommy Davis, Exotic, and you. And Tommy Davis was talking a lot of trash on there. He said he wasn't scared. I'm not sure what Exotic said, but there was some videos, and then I know you had. So talk to us about that. And a lot of people want to know, how did that come about? What was the concept? Who won? Etc.
Right. It was supposed to be Tommy and Troy, with me being the referee.
Okay, got you.
To make sure they behave themselves.
Okay.
Which they didn't.
Okay.
Neither one of them behaved themselves. Tommy, Troy, are you listening right now? Y'all didn't behave yourself. So I threatened to shut it down, but I didn't mean to hit anybody. So when I got on, I came out swinging.
Okay.
You know, but I wasn't going to hit anybody, but I accidentally hit Tommy in the eye. I gave him a little. I said, "Sorry, Tommy. I was just trying to just control things, but didn't work. But I hit Tommy up, and Troy was like, "Wait a minute, this to be my what in the." I'll find out what Geoffrey Ceee said about that. They dragged me into it. And as far as who won, I don't know who won because there was just so many. There's just so many fists flying and all kinds of stuff and all kinds of trash talking and this, that, the other. And when I got on, they made sure my equipment was unplugged. I had to plug up some stuff I had to plug up some stuff. I had to put the song in loop. Okay, let's try to find out why my stuff is not working. Let's go ahead and plug in this cable. Let's plug in that cable. Does it work? Okay. So I was wondering if they were trying to sabotage me. We got it straightened out, and we had a great time.
Yeah.
We had a wonderful time there.
Yeah.
And I would definitely do it again.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Definitely do it again. This time I'm going to bring my shield, though, because I don't want them to hit me, okay?
Okay. I think Momo was the, I should have said referee / MC in the end, right?
Yeah, Momo was there. Momo was there. And Momo was like, what kind of referee are you?
Yeah, and
what, you ain't got no whistle? What kind of... That's football and basketball. Referees don't have whistles in boxing and fight matches. Oh, that was so much fun.
Yeah,
that was so
was
much
there
fun.
too, so I'll tell you so. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, listen to
That
this.
was fun.
Question. Do you have a preference for DJing or producing?
That's a good question. I would say that since producing has been my lifeblood throughout my entire career and has opened up so many doors, including DJing, I would have to say producing.
Okay.
Because I like producing because I really started out with that, like we had talked about earlier, started out on a cassette deck, pause button mixes, remember those? And with producing, you're creating something from scratch. You're creating something from in here, something that's never been heard before, something that you want to share with the world. And that there's no limit to what one can produce or create. No limit. You know, my only limits are when I don't produce. That's it. But when I'm in that studio producing, the mind is flowing, constantly flowing with ideas that nobody's ever heard before. I haven't even thought about before. It just comes. So yeah, if I had a choice between DJing and producing, it would have to be producing as my lifeblood.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What can we expect from you going forward? Projects, events, etc. Anything you can share. Put it that way.
All right. You know, going forward, I'm almost finished my album finally.
Okay.
And I have something that's coming out on Pascal Records, a remix that I did with Leonida K, called Capija, or I don't even know how to pronounce that name. I'm about to butcher it. They know how to pronounce it. That's coming out on Pascal Records. In fact, that is on pre-order on TrackSource right now, exclusive. So definitely go ahead and get that. I played it a few times, and it had a really good response. So I'm excited about it. And shouts out to Maurice, a.k.a. Mr. Eclectic, for the opportunity to remix that. And that was a lot of fun to do. So yeah, there are some things, and like I said before, collaborations with Carmen Brown, and also collaborations with Saheed Muhammad, and the list goes on.
Okay, all righty. Any final thoughts before we close up shop?
You know, I shared this on Facebook, and I think it's worth sharing it again because it's very important. And that is, if someone criticizes your work, you're doing something right.
Okay.
Someone criticizes your work, you're doing something right.
Okay.
Because you're tapping into an audience that's not your core audience. And so when you go outside of your core audience and people discover your talent, these people could have a variety of tastes in music, could have a variety of backgrounds. People come from different walks of life. And when you tap into that market outside your comfort zone, outside your circle, you're going to have people with different opinions. Somebody's going to criticize your work. If they criticize your work, great. They know who you are. At least they know who you are, and you're doing something right. Keep going. Keep going.
Good news. That's good news. I gotta talk to my kids and tell them that. Anyway, yeah. Hey, listen to this. Your show. You do a weekly show. Tell us about that. What it is, where it is, what you do.
Sure. I do 2 shows actually. I do handsonradio.fm. That's on every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. I also do a Wednesday show, pressureradio.com. That's from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. All Eastern time. And I've been doing those shows for quite some time. And I'm occasionally doing a show on Twitch TV. Starting in May, the occasional is going to turn into consistent. And I'm going to go crazy starting in May on Twitch TV. And that's Twitch TV Geoffrey CEE.
Okay.
So definitely follow me on Twitch, because I'm coming.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be like strictly house, but I'm for Twitch, I'm going to play whatever I feel that day. Could be anything. I could decide to play an album. I could go into jazz. I could go into neo soul. Anything. Of course, house too. Naturally, house. That's the main thing. But you know, we creative people. We have our ebbs and flows, and we kind of tend to go with how we feel for that particular time and moment. That's the beauty of being creative. But yeah, follow me on that, and we're going to have a good time.
You know, along those lines, I have 2 channels on Twitch. I have Soulful House Nation, which is straight up house. But you know, I play open set when I do most of the parties. I'm doing a lot more parties now, so I haven't been able to go to as many house music events as I have. I've been kind of like falling back, but I'm getting paid on these other scenarios.
There you go.
So I kind of like to have food with my meals, if you follow me.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah.
I understand.
So, but I've had the idea for some time, I just haven't done it. I have, you know, the Soulful House Nation show and DJ Dan Dan. DJ Dan Dan plays anything from oldies to rock and roll to classic rock to new wave to freestyle to funk to disco to, I mean, like all over the place, because that's what I do, EDM as well as house, because that's what I do when I go to these, when I DJ at these parties.
Yes.
So I'm kind of all over the place. So it's funny you should say that, because I've contemplated that on more than one occasion, and I don't know, maybe I'll set up a whole new name or something like that, where I just play whatever, hip-hop, R&B, reggaeton, I mean, just like just be all over the place.
Just
like
a variety of stuff. That's
yeah,
right.
Just be all over the place, so anyway.
That's right.
So.
That's right. DJ Boy Scout. That's it. DJ Boy Scout. Play a variety of hits and oldies.
Yes.
DJ Boy Scout on Twitch TV.
I'm thinking about it.
Stop. I'm messing with you, man.
Yeah. Well, you know, just real quick, originally, before I started doing this Soulful House Nation thing, I did a show called Follow My Beat. And Follow My Beat was about current events, I like to say with a twist. But then, prior to me doing that, I was supposed to do, it was me and my buddy Henry, who, like, back in the day, we were like two of the only, at least in our area, two of the only black DJs that played in a lot of, and mostly white clubs. And we played new wave, stuff like Depeche Mode, Erasure, Simple Minds. I mean, you can just go on and on. Tom's Door. We played stuff like that. So we were thinking that maybe we'd do that, but that just never came about. But anyway, you just got me to thinking again. Maybe I might have set up another station. I don't know if DJ open set. I don't know. Whatever. And just play different.
That would be nice. I'd listen. I'd subscribe.
Yeah. So. And then, over the years, I did a lot of proms, and even still doing proms and playing stuff for hip-hop and all that. So, anyway. Hey, listen.
That's great.
If people want to follow you, keep up with you, support you, how do they do it?
So we've already mentioned Twitch, and there are other platforms. There's Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook.com/Geoffrey C. That's GEOFFREYCEE. And I added the 2 E's because social media would not let me have just my initial, the letter C. I actually had to spell the C out, C-E-E. So you see a lot of Geoffrey C-E-Es around. So that, and also Instagram.com/Geoffrey C. Again, GEOFFREYCEE. And I said Twitch before, but it's worth mentioning again. TwitchTV.com/Geoffrey C. GEOFFREYCEE. That's it. Absolutely.
Hey, listen, folks, I want to thank you for coming out and hanging out. I'm pleased to let you know, too, the show has gotten legs under. We're on Facebook. Facebook is the least of it. Twitch is the least of it in terms of the numbers. Got YouTube, Vimeo, Roku, Twitch, Twitter, and the website. And every week now, we're getting in excess of 2,300 live views on the multiple formats. So I want to thank all the people that are checking for us and tuning in with us. And now what we're going to do, we're going to go to our Shazam Free Zone. In Shazam Free Zone, we play only new music. We won't repeat. And that music we play only to introduce you to new music. And we not only play it, but we say it. And the real key with that is that, when I do those sets, I know the hits. I know what people are really checking for. But someplace, somewhere, somehow, in my mind, you got to hear new music, and this is the place where we do it, the Shazam Free Zone. So we've got that coming up next, and then we're going to close it out. Hey, Geoffrey, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Absolutely. It's like, just a real, let me tell you, he's a brilliant guy, I'm telling you. So, anyway. Look up in the...
I got you believing it.
Yeah. Look up in the dictionary under brilliant. Boom. There's his picture.
I have you fooled. This is good. My formula's right. No, thank you so much. Thank you. It's always fun being here. I believe this is second or third time?
Yeah, third time.
Third? Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Yes.
And they say the third time's a charm.
Hey, that's right. That's right. And hey, I just want to give you one more shout out and one more big thank you for putting that track Adrenaline Rush together. Hey, listen. Hey, I know also too, Momo has gotten on one of your tracks too. Her and DJ That Girl Curly. And so, hey, listen. You put out tracks that people want to get on. Hey, Jahad got on it. So this is what you do. So, hey, listen. Thank you so much. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, DJ Dan, Soulful House Nation, coming to you live from the 8th floor. Get ready. We're going to go into the Shazam Free Zone. So, Chuck, can you hit the beat? And then I'm going to take over and start mixing from there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, see you on the other side. You might recognize this one, too.
Heard this somewhere.
Somewhere before. So again, we not only play it, but we say it.